So we're at the second verse now. So look what it says. V'yoyimru narei Amalek misharsav yevakshu lamelech na'aris besulois toivus mare. So they say, let's go seek out maidens, virgins for the king. That was the thing also in that time, that they would only seek out women that were at that status. That felt that was something that the kings wanted. And they went out to look in all of the nations, all of the Medinas, all of the places the king had dominion, to bring the daughters. Now, you could imagine that people would try to hide their daughters, which they did. Gimel v'yafked hamelech pikidim, and he sent messengers, pikidim. This word pikidim is very interesting. What does it mean, pikidim? So it says, pikidim is a lashon of pikuda, lefi shem poikdim acherem lasos kach v'kach. Poikdim means like to push and force something. So he sent out messengers that would kind of force the issue. These weren't gentle people. They went door to door. Would you like to offer your daughters to be the new queen, the queen of Achashverosh? No, these are pikidim. They went with intense intensity. This was definitely a dictatorship that was happening. Bekol Medinas Malchusoi, v'yikbitzu, and all the pikidim went with strength, as kol nara besula toivas mara. And they took all the women that were of beautiful form, El Shushan Abira, they took them to the capital. El Beis HaNoshim, to the house of the Noshim. What is this Beis HaNoshim? The house of the women. This was a place that was special only for women. Men were not allowed to go there. Even though there was a person that was in charge of guarding it. His name was Hege. So it says that he was a sris. A sris means literally a person that serves the king. But a sris also means someone who has had that part of him removed. So that's why he was the only one that was allowed there, even though it was only for women. He was a man, but he was castrated. So that's the deeper meaning of sris. He was the Sris HaMelech, means he was. So they took them all, El Beis Hege, Sris HaMelech, Shomer HaNoshim, he guarded the women. V'nosen Tamru Keyim. And it was said that they have to have this regimen of beautification, very, very intense levels of beautification, to get them ready for the king. They would be given all sorts of oils and all sorts of health foods. Correct, VK, in order to purify them, and certain types of shemens would take off all the hair in areas that they didn't want, and others would then make the skin extremely beautiful. So it was a very detailed 12-month process of getting the women to a state that they were in the highest level of beauty. So much that their skin became so fine that it was like glowing.
Do you still have these oils?
We have these oils, yeah. You have to just know which ones they are and how to use them. I'm sure all the beauty companies wish they knew the secrets of the Beis HaNoshim. But they're here. They talk about them here also. V'hanara shertita b'yeinei Amalek, and the woman that would be the most beautiful in the eyes of the king, Timloich Tachas Vashti, would take Vashti's place. V'yitav adavar b'yeinei Amalek, and this was good in the eyes of the king. V'yas came, and he sent off the pikidim to the far reaches of the kingdom to chase down these women. Next verse, Ish Yehudi, and this is the place that we all pipe in. Ish Yehudi haya b'Shushan Abira. There was a Jew living in Shushan Abira. The question is, Shushan Abira, is that the capital, or did Mordechai even live inside the palace? We know that Mordechai was one of the advisors of Achashverosh. Mordechai was a very, very high up. There's a prequel to the entire story, where really Mordechai buys Haman as a slave, as they were heads of armies before the Purim Star even began. And Haman ate all of his food of his army, and came to Mordechai and said, we ate all the food during the siege. So Mordechai said, why did you eat it all and just party during the siege? He says, I'll give anything. So he says, sell yourself to me as a slave. So he says, fine. And he gives him food. And they wrote the shtar on the boot. So remember, that's going to come back later in the story. That really Haman was already Mordechai's slave that was sold. And they have the shtar on the boot. So Mordechai is living in Shushan. Abir Shmoi Mordechai ben Yoir ben Shimi ben Kish Ishemini. And all the Sfarim say that was Mordechai a Yehudi, or an Ishemini, from Binyamin or from Yehuda? So the answer, from one side it was from Yehuda, the other side from his mother, and from the other side from Binyamin. Now, there's also discussion that Ben Shimi ben Kish. Who is Kish? Anybody know who Kish was? Who is Shimi?
Shimi cursed David, right?
Oh. So he was the one. So it says like this. V'chi b'noi shel Kish. They say he wasn't the son of Kish. Kish was the father of Shaul, of Shaul Amalek. Of course, Shaul was from Binyamin, Yemini. So then what's the pshat? Nikra kain al shem ma'isiv shehikish es dalse tefillah v'paschulai. So one pshat, it's brought down, is he was not actually the son of Kish, was that he knocked on the doors of tefillah. He was hikish. He connected and he was banging on the doors of tefillah. And Hashem answered him. Another pshat, that Mordechai was the nechad of Kish. Ben Kish means he fixed the chait of Shaul. Ben Kish, meaning Kish was the father of Shaul, which would mean Ben Kish would mean he would be Shaul, right? If he's the son of Shaul's father, either he's Shaul, or he is Shaul's brother, or he's the one that's in place of Shaul. So what does it mean that he was the Ben Kish? What did Shaul do wrong? Shaul's one mission was to destroy Amalek. Remember that? And what did he do? He had too much rachmanis, too much compassion. And what did he do? Instead of killing, he left alive, and the king of Amalek, this is where it gets very cool, a little bit Kabbalistic, shape-shifted into the animals, and then was able to come back and continue the lineage of Amalek. And because Shaul did not do that, he was, sometimes having compassion could be cruelty. If somebody is a menace to society and he's a dangerous person, so you don't say, yeah, you know what, come over, it'll be great. Maybe, have dinner with my kids. You don't tell a convicted pedophile to just, come hang out. That's not called being nice. That's called being cruel. So you have to know when being too nice is actually cruelty. Now we don't understand who Shaul was. Shaul was a tzaddik. But there was some level where Chazal told us that he had something, whatever that means, at his darga, that there was some problem that his rachmanus was misplaced. So Mordechai was then going to fix that by not bowing down to Haman, by pushing away and saving the Jews from Amalek. So Mordechai was fixing the chait. That's what it means. He was the Ben Kish. Asher hogla Yerushalayim, that he left Yerushalayim. Im hagoyla asher hoglasa, that he left. Interesting historically, he left before the Churban of Bais Rishon. In Yechanya Melech Yehuda, he left before. Asher hegla, and where did he go at the times of Nebuchadnezzar Melech Bavel? When everyone was leaving, the times of Tzidkiyahu. So he left and he set himself up in Shushan. Obviously, that the entire story would take place that we mentioned before. That Achashverosh had to make a throne that was so big. He wanted the throne of Solomon, but he couldn't get it. So he said that he's going to make a throne. They had all 127 promises to make him a throne. But the best of the thrones was in Shushan. But then it was too big that he couldn't move it. So he said, we're just going to move the capital to Shushan. And lo and behold, who was in Shushan? Mordechai. Mordechai was in Shushan. When everything went out, the cruise that they had to take and kidnap all the women, the Kabetz Na'aris Rabbis El Shushan Abira Al Yad Hegai V'tilokach Esther. So he took Esther. So now they're going to take Esther. El Beis Hamelech Al Yad Hegai Shomer Hanoshim. V'titav Hanara Be'enov. When they did actually take her, V'tisa Chesed Lefanav. Do you think Esther was favorable or not so favorable? She was immediately seen as maybe this was going to be the queen. Immediately. She was given preferential treatment. She had so much chaim, Esther. Now what does it mean he took her? So there's different, what does it mean labas? So there's different commentaries. What was the relationship between Mordechai and Esther? So the Gemara says, don't read it labas, el labayis. That Esther was, as they were cousins, but Esther, don't say that he took her as a daughter. It wasn't his daughter. And it wasn't, we know that she was a Yesoima from both her parents. Her parents were not alive. She was an orphan from both sides. So not that Mordechai took her as an orphan, as a daughter, but labayis, that he got married to her. Mordechai married Esther. So lo yizu isha. So she found so much chayin by everyone, because they said we never saw such a beautiful woman, such a special woman, and she's definitely fitting to be the queen. Vayivahel, very interesting word. Vayivahel, they hurried, they sped up to make sure that she got an expedited beauty treatment. She made sure to get all the best stuff right away. So what was she given? The best foods, the best makeups, the best oils, everything. The secret oils of myrrh and shemen afarsimon. Shemen afarsimon, which is considered the greatest of all the oils. Yes, my friend.
Is this Esther talking about?
Yeah, Esther got all the good stuff.
Didn't the Gemara say she was green or something like that?
Oh, so either the Gemara means that she was green, that she was like olive, like Mediterranean, like mamish beauty, like Mediterranean women, like this green, olive complexion, or that she was literally green, and that's not pretty, like neon, like Jack's bottle. Yeah, exactly. There we go. Exhibit number one. But she had a chut shel chesed. She had such grace. You know when you see somebody and you really like how you just like them? And they have so much charm that even though maybe they're not the most attractive, or maybe the way the world would call attractive, but they're so beautiful to you. They're so gorgeous because they have so much chaim. They have so much grace and beauty that Esther had so much chaim that even though she was green, people just said, wow, there's something about her that we're so attracted to. Obviously, it's the Shekhinah. She had the godly light shining inside of her.
Is that a universally accepted opinion?
If the Gemara says, either she was like olive, or she was green and had a chut shel chesed.
What about some of the other, I know there's like a bunch of different opinions about what it means that she found favor in everyone's eyes. No one was like, people would just see her as their, ethnicity.
So that was one of it, is that everybody said like, she's our girl. She's from our people. Everyone said, I always think that this is what it's going to be like when Mashiach comes. Because, Mashiach's going to come, so, he can't be Litvish because of Chassidim. He can't be a Chassid because he can't be a Teimani because of this. He can't be a Yeshiva. And it can't be this because he can't be this one because of this. He can't be Reform because I'm the Orthodox. He can't be Orthodox in the Reform. He's got to be, this is my pshat, that every single one says, the Reformer, he's such a wonderful Reform Jew. And although he is the most, and he's the most Haredi Jew. The Chassidim, what a Chassid. You see the way he davens? Do you see the way he learns? The brisker is going to, do you see his lumdis? Do you understand? Everyone's he's such a mere guy. He's such a brisker. Everyone's going to say, they're all going to say, he's mamish me. So everyone's going to accept Mashiach. He's mamish going to have that nakuda of Esther. I really believe that. It's going to be like that. And everyone's holding about chesed. He's such a Baal Chesed. He's the biggest Baal Chesed in the world. And the ones that learn, they're going to say, do you see the way he learns Taisus? It's unbelievable. I think that's the end, man. So yes, everyone said by Esther that she's ours. She's one of us.
Does that mean like literally like what a white version to your wife?
That's maybe why she had this coloring that was like everyone thought that she's like them. She's like a darker white or a lighter black, but she's everyone. Loi higida. Ve'es sheva hana'arus haru'uis lo seisla, and they gave her sheva na'arus. Now it's very interesting. The Gemara talks about these 7 attendants. Either she was the only one that got these 7 attendants, or everybody got 7 attendants, but she got the best of the attendants to take after her. And she had a strategy because or she had the biggest tzaddikises of the 7 attendants, and she was makar of the 7 attendants and would teach them about Torah mitzvahs. Or she just had the best of the attendants that were the best beauty queens, helping her become more and more beautiful. But she wanted to hide the fact that she was a Jewess. So how did she do that? She told the 7 attendants, I don't need you to come every single day. You'll come on Yom Rishon, you'll come on Sunday, you'll come on Monday, Tuesday, etc. And then have the same one come every day. So the one that came on Sunday thought that, she does malacha. The one that came on Shabbos thought every single day she just never does malacha. And she makes Shabbos tishes and verbrengens and has children. Every day, that's what she thought, because she only came on Shabbos. So her strategy was, they couldn't talk to each other. So they never knew that she was a Jewess. So she hid the fact that she was a Jewish for a number of reasons. The Yeshane es nareiseh l'toiv beis hanoshim. Loi higida Esther, and she never told anybody that she was a Jewess. Es amma, she kept that secret. Ve'es meiladata, from what shevet she was from. Ki Mordechai tziva alea shaloi sagin. Do not tell. Do not tell. 11 reasons why not to tell. Reason number 1 is that they're going to say that she's from Mishpacha Bezuya. Meaning, she was really from Shaul. She was really a princess. But if they knew that, then they would want to keep her close. She wanted them to say, she's probably like from some nobody, and then she wouldn't be chosen as the king, for the king. Pshat number 2, she was worried that she would be killed, that Achashverosh would kill, and the same that she killed Vashti. And if she was killed, they wouldn't just kill her, she would kill the whole Jewish people. So she hid that. Reason number 3. Mordechai was always running away from Srara, from becoming like something big. And she was worried if she told that Mordechai was the one that raised her, then the king would give extra cover to Mordechai. You raised such a princess? So Mordechai was pushing away from that. Number 4, she wanted to be able to keep Hashem's Torah in Seser. And she didn't want to have to eat nevelis and treifas. If they knew that she was a Yehudis, then maybe they would force it upon her. Number 5, maybe the king would now ask all the other princes to go and marry Jewish girls if she told that she was a Jew. Reason number 6, in order that she should not make bad gezeris against Klal Yisrael. Number 7, that maybe she would become, that Jews are going to become lowly in the eyes of all the other nations. Number 8, that Mordechai was waiting for the right time that she could go to another Malchus. And if the Melech was Yoideh Shi Yehudis, Hayamelech Hayrugis Kol HaYehudim Im Lo Yachziru. If she didn't come back, she was going to run away. And if they knew that this is a Jew, we're just going to kill all the Jews. Number 9, that Mordechai was saying in his heart that there was going to be a Gezer on Klal Yisrael. Better that she should not know that she was a Yehudis and from Binyamin, because maybe at the times of the Gezerah, the whole Am would come out that how is she going to now have this extra card to save the people? Okay, there's a number of other reasons. But she kept it silent. Last pasuk, B'kol yom v'yom Mordechai mishalech lifnei chatzor beis hanoshim. He would go and check up on her. Lo das es Shalom Ester. If she needed refuah, if she needed any help, Yaseba. And my Yaseba, he would help her. Okay. Next pasuk. We'll just do one more pasuk. And when the turn came for every single naira v'naira lovoy hamelech hachashverosh miketz heyoisla, at the end of that very long time, kedas hanoshim shneim asar chodesh, 12 months they would be prepared. Ki kein yimlu yemei merukehen, when the time finished, shisha chadoshin b'shemen amor. Now they point out she had 6 months of myrrh treatment, which was something which took away all of the hair, smoothed out, and 6 months with other besamim and shemen afarsamon, ubetamruke hanoshim, and very like Cleopatra type beauty products and Dead Sea muds and salt baths and saunas and everything, all the different levels of beautification. Next shir, we're going to talk about how then the woman had to come to the king. Just that you see the kind of animalisticness of such a human being, of Achashverosh. And we're going to go into the details of what Esther had to do, as the Megillah accounts. And Bezrat Hashem, we're going to slowly and surely see how weaving its way through the entire story is Hashem guiding, that the Jews would be saved in the most unbelievable way. And until this very day, look at us. We're sitting together, we're telling over the story, that we're still here. It's one of the greatest miracles of the authenticity of the Torah, is that still to this very day we're reading the Megillah, we're telling over the story. And one of the proofs of the Megillah is, it says inside the Megillah that we're going to be reading the story for every generation. How would you know that that's going to happen if it wasn't divinely written? We have everything against us. We're small in number, we're scattered amongst the lands, we've been in a 2,000-year gullus. How could you prove such a thing that the Megillah is going to be read every day? We're sitting together in Yerushalayim, a bunch of Yidden here, and all over the world, Yidden are watching, and we're saying the story of the Megillah. That's unbelievable. Ada Yom Hazeh, Tavshin Pei Beis, Tiyeh Shnas Panim B'Panim, with Mashiach Tzidkein B'Meir. Amen.
Amen.
All good Shabbos.
There's a special bracha